Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and specifically welcome back to my playing series where I play live for YouTube without the benefit of cherry picking games. And today I'm going to play the best tier 9 tank destroyer, and considering there have been so many buffs to many of the most popular and original tier 9 tank destroyers in the game, I'm wondering if one of them is going to be showing up today, as we can see a lot of people are playing the T30. Now I'm going to base it on win ratio difference, and immediately we notice that America is up there with the T95, boosting players' win ratio by 2.19%, better than the Tortoise and better than the WZ111 GFT. So without further ado, let's jump in with this absolute fortress of a tank. The T95 is a vehicle that has just been buffed and buffed and buffed and buffed. And then I think it might have even got a little bit nerfed when they nerfed the T110E3, but they can't really stop this thing. It's in such a state, and it's absolutely dominating a lot of the games that it manages to get in, hence why it's got such blooming good statistics, right? So the T95, why is it great? Well, I'll tell you what, before I tell you why it's great, let me talk about the build that I use on the T95. It's a little bit different, right? I like to use the bounty protection technology, a durability, and a turbo. And then what this allows me to do is actually drop the repair kit. I know that sounds so bizarre on a vehicle like this, to drop the repair kit, right? But it allows me to use fuel. And as you will see, it's almost impossible for my opponents to take my tracks off and keep them off for more than a couple of seconds. And so almost it's just a great bait. You hope that your opponents are going to be shooting your tracks. And while, you know, it'll be annoying if I get ammo-racked or my gun gets damaged, but remember, the bounty protection technology actually protects the ammo-rack from detonation in the engine as well. So the amount of module damage that I take when I have a build like this, I barely manage to take any. Sometimes the fuel tanks might go, but remember, with a little bit of fire protection on the engine, it's not entirely likely. And what this build does is it actually makes the T95 ridiculously mobile. That fuel with the premium consumable, with that turbo on this tank, with Wargaming's field mods, the second field mod that just made this thing so like 15% faster than it used to be in a single patch. All of these things have added up now from this thing from being a meme to being something that actually manages just to get on its opponents and not stop grinding them out. So let's talk about the T95 back in the day. Back in the day, this thing's engine power was absolutely horrendous because, as I said, it didn't have a field mod that improved its ground resistances, didn't have a thing like a turbo, and the top speed of this tank was originally 13 kilometers an hour. It was the slowest tank in the game, and it was pretty much a vehicle that just went into a position and waited for its opponents to have to come after it. Now, considering the vehicle is so nippy, I'm bombing along at like 25, 26 kilometers an hour because of that turbo and because of the engineer skill now as well, which also boosts this thing's speed up. And the engineer skill, even though it's only 1 kilometer, well, 1 kilometer until you factor in Brothers in Arms and a premium consumable, which actually boosts up a little bit more than 1 kilometer. But that's really significant on a tank that has a very limited speed. 1 kilometer doesn't really make much difference on, say, an EBR, right? You're going to go, instead of 80, you're going to go 81. But going 21 instead of 20, that's 5% of a speed boost that a vehicle like the T95 gets. And so all of these micro advantages have added up, and yeah, you don't want to sit in front of this. And the thing still hits hard, right? Oh, that's a good start with a nice fire there on the Centurion 7-1. Now, of course, I'm not using a gun rammer, so my DPM is going to be a little bit low. But spoilers, the DPM was never really the focus of this tank. This tank is not focused on trying to destroy its opponents quickly. It's about outlasting them and managing to just use the big old alpha damage. And when you're as fast as I am with this build, then that more than makes up for the actual need for a gun rammer to be able to reload 10% faster, because you can actually get at your opponents and punish them and escape. And also, look at the traverse speed. Look at the traverse speed on this thing. These players will think that they can flank this. We'll wiggle in, try and keep our weak points a little bit safe here. Don't quite manage to catch that. But the way that this thing can chase players down, most people are so used to the T95 being so slow that they don't think it's going to lurch around the corner and deliver 750 damage. And do I have to go back here, or should I just continue to push forwards? You know what, I'm meant to be the unstoppable Zoom Turtle, right? I'm just going to plow straight towards the WT Alpha Panzer IV and hopefully get a little bit more. And I think I've actually lost this game. Oh my lord. I don't think I'm going to be able to manage to make it back for that, but hopefully I can catch this guy. Oh, there we go. Hello. Hello, hello. Hopefully the Jagdtiger gets back and manages to secure. And so, when I set this vehicle up like this, my win ratio just absolutely skyrocketed. And also, my damage, would you believe it, skyrocketed as well. Because watch what happens when we hit this slope. Usually a T95, you kind of just, once you've put that last shot in to the A phase one, you just Alt-Tab, go AFK, and go do something on your desktop. But when you set up the T95 like this, with the fuel and with the turbo, you'll notice now that we actually have an opportunity of being able to chase down our opponents at the end of the game. And look at this upslope. Look at this, 20, 18. Like, this is going faster than the T95 used to be capped out at back in the day, before Wargaming buffed the top speed from 13 to 20, and then have like a turbo in the game as well, so going up to like 26 if you were to get a Bond turbo on this thing. Absolutely monstrous. And so you can see now that I'm actually kind of getting around. And my argument is that if I was to like reload 10% faster, sure, if it's kind of a life or death situation where people are trying to hound you, and you have to be able to fight them off and be able to grind them down. But quite often with the T95, it's actually more about being mobile and kind of like chasing your opponents to be able to deliver the shots. And I think I would far rather get around quickly to be able to deliver those shells than I would to just reload 10% faster on this tank, when its DPM isn't really the speciality. Uh-oh. Have I just given a Borsig my butt? Am I going to ram this guy? I am. I'm going to ram him for 192. Yeah. Okay. Nice. You nearly flanked me, mate. Yeah, nearly. Not quite. And there you have it. That was a casual 4,400 combined and 2 kills for this absolute monstrosity of a tank. This thing, it's actually giving me my best stats, I think, of any of my tier 9 tank destroyers, which is really weird because back in the day, I really wasn't particularly good in this vehicle. And I think it's purely that speed. It's purely to be able to get around quick enough to be able to deliver it, to not just be a vehicle which just holds its position. Yeah, I mean, like statistically in this vehicle, I'm getting 67% wins. And remember, this is a lot of old statistics that I'm also boosting up from back in the day when this thing was crazy underpowered compared to what it is now. And so this thing, it's just got the speed to be able to get around. It's got that alpha damage. It's got great penetration on your standard rounds. Is there any doubt as to why this vehicle is just boosting up players' win ratio more than any other tier 9 tank destroyer? And it's kind of funny because it's one of the slowest tanks in the game. You know, with the Turtle, I believe, goes at 20, or does the Turtle go at 25 now? I don't think Wargaming boosted the top speed of the Turtle. I think it was just the tier 8 that they boosted the speed up. Either that or I'm going crazy. But the Tortoise has always, not the Turtle. The Turtle was buffed, but the Tortoise. But the Tortoise has always been just an absolute god tier tank. You know what? I've got enough time when I'm getting in position. Let's just get the triple R tapped. And we've got to go check this. I'm pretty sure the Tortoise has not had its speed buffed to 25 base kilometers now. I'm pretty sure it's still at 20, right? There's no way Wargaming would have buffed that. Nah. It was the tier 8 British tank destroyer they buffed up to 25. So kind of weird in a way that you go up to 25 when you're playing the tier 8, and then you get a speed nerf down to 20 at tier 9, but then again you do get that monster gun, right? So again, you're going to see that this vehicle, it's not a slow vehicle that trundles into position with a setup like this. It gets there like a slower heavy. And a lot of slower heavies don't have over 2,000 hit points. A lot of slower heavies just don't have the alpha damage or the penetration that this tank has. And when you add all of those things together, man, T95 just absolutely slaps. So I think one of the key ways to improve your win ratio in not just this vehicle, but all of these kind of like heavily armored tank destroyers, is to not go and play them like they're a sniping tank destroyer. Terrible positions for this tank, in my opinion, will be kind of like sitting here near the Type 63 or going to the back where the Scorpion is. That's what the T95 used to do back in the day, or even just sitting in a position like this with the 263. Those positions, they only work if the enemy team is winning. Well, why would we give the enemy team a chance to win, right? Sure, there are some vehicles which I'll go there in, like maybe a WTF Panzer IV, Grilla, you know, glass cannon TDs. But you don't need to play like a glass cannon tank destroyer with this vehicle. A little bit worried in this position that they don't have vehicles sitting here and they have a vehicle sitting at the back. But still would like to just apply some pressure to my opponents. This T95 is going to turn around. I don't really want to get clubbed by an XM57. If I stay out of his proxy distance, then he might still commit. Would love to get this T54E1. I don't like slow playing on this tank. I'm going to keep out of his proxy distance here, and I think he'll come around the corner now that he's taken a hit from... Oh, how did I get spotted? Was it the Scorpion up there? There's no way this guy's close enough, is he? I don't think he was close enough. Maybe he was. He probably was close enough. Yeah, no, he's 70 meters away, so... maybe it was the Scorpion who was up there. Or it could be somebody who's back there, right? Could be somebody who's back there. Or even a AMX 1390 who's managed to do some funky stuff around there. I feel like I'm playing too carefully right now, but if I go forwards, the XM57 could absolutely chonk me. Yeah. That's not World of Tanks. Oh, it's not good trades, guys. Not good trades. Well played to the XM57. Got me good. And this game's looking very close, actually. Luckily, by keeping these guys a little bit focused on me, they're not going to be farming my friends. And if they're not farming my friends, I should be okay. But yeah, XM57, dude. Why did Wargaming ever think that was a good idea to put in the game? I don't know. I don't know. Such an annoying tank to have to deal with. And even though I'm in a lovely map and lovely matchup here, I haven't really managed to do anything. Alright, the XM fired. I guess I'm just gonna push. T30 could be at the back. I don't know, man. It's one of those ugly kinds of games where an XM57 is giving you a little bit of trouble. XM57s give a lot of people trouble. People are saying there's tanks at the back. There probably are, but can I really worry about that right now? Just got the XM57. Oh well, it's the last thing he ever did. But I might have a 0 damage game here. So there's a T30 at the back. This 257 is reversing behind me, but I can't really blame him. Try and angle for the T30 who's at the back. Dudes, am I going to do nothing here? Oh, should I try and blind fire? Try and blind fire that T30? This is like a 1 in a million. 1 in a million kind of shot. Okay. It's a bit of an ugly game here. What did I do wrong? I think poking against that XM57 and getting spammed with gold. My hand was kind of forced. We're up by 6 tanks, so I don't really need to worry too much. Really worried about that T30 at the back, though. Kind of just thinking that maybe I should sit and wait. This game's actually looking pretty ugly. We're definitely up on tanks, but hit points wise, we're completely even. Look how many low healths we have here. That T30 should get spotted. I'm going to ask for the Senlac for some help over here. T30 corner. We're going to pre-aim for this T30. See if we can at least get one big boy shot into him. I saw a tree fall roughly about there. But, yeah. That T30 is about to get a very rude awakening when everybody appears. Oh, he's actually lost. He's lost my kind of alpha damage in hit points. I mean, it could have been anyone who hit him, sure. But he had actually lost about 750. Well, I can only pray. I can only pray. At least it's not going to be a 0 damage game, right? So, look, this game, it's definitely not going to be fantastic. Well played to the XM57 for just absolutely clunking me. But it's a win, right? It's a win. And I think that this is the kind of tank that usually does better in close games, where your opponents don't only kill 5. Or games where you're like actually losing. Because when your opponents are forced to come at this thing and to harass it, I mean, nobody wants to sit in front of a 155mm gun, right? That's not usually going to go well for anyone involved. But again, this vehicle with this build, it just really seems to make these maps oh so slow. Oh so slow, not oh so slow, oh so small is what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say. Whereas this thing back in the day used to feel oh so slow. Just crazy to think that this thing used to be limited to 13 and I'm literally driving around twice as fast as a T95 used to. That is some power creep, right? Power creep indeed, ladies and gents. A doubling of speed. Although, you know, this tank has been in the game for 14 years. So, do I think that this thing would be good at 13 kilometers an hour? No. Would it be okay if it had a 13km/h base top speed now with all of the mechanics that we have in the game? Yeah, because I think you would have a base 13, then you'd take a turbo, you'd go between 17 and 19 depending on what kind of a turbo you'd take, then you'd take engineer and you'd go up to 20km/h if you were using a Bond turbo on this tank. Now, is it good that we're talking so much about bounty and Bond turbos as making so much of a difference? But on this kind of a vehicle, they really do. They do make the world of difference to be able to have a bounty or a Bond turbo. Because we're talking about a whole extra kilometer or 2km/h going faster forwards. And that is... Hopefully we're going to reset. Hopefully. I'd love it if we reset here. Can we reset, please? Can we reset? I don't think they will. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2... 1. Hey! I love doubling my damage at the end. But let's take a look to see whether we hit that T30 blind, because I think he took about 750. So, you know what, if I hit all of the shells that we fired, it wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, stinky game for this tank considering the map and the matchup. But I'm just praying that we see like 2 on the T30. Please say we got 2 on that. Nah, only just 1. Looks like somebody else must have blind fired him. Oh, stinky game. Look at that. 2nd from bottom, but at least I finished 5th on damage. Horrendous, right? And this is why these are non-cherry-picked games. All right, so I really don't feel like I've been truly tested so far in the T95. So come on. Come on, matchmaker. There we go. Some lovely tier 10s to deal with, and an arty for good measure as well. Come on, matchmaker, give me a little bit of a test. This is the most powerful tier 9 tank destroyer after all, right? Man, I do like this playing series where I get to play the best tanks. My win ratio on the account really likes it. My win ratio on this account is definitely starting to plateau or even go down a little bit because I just don't platoon anymore. Back in the day when I was platooning more often, you know, I'd be packing out those like 65-70% win rate sessions with my friends, or even like 70 or more, feeling like I'm cheating when I was playing with Phil and John, you know, and getting those 80% win rate sessions as if they were nothing. And yeah, playing solo, it's definitely hard to be able to influence the game as much as you can when you're playing with friends actively, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna go down the center of this map. It's a little bit of a tricky one. If my opponents push me, it'll go well for me. If my opponents don't push me, it's definitely going to be ugly. As soon as you get round the corner about here, then you start to expose yourself to all of the enemy's tank destroyers who like to sit there, up in these kinds of positions. But you know what, the T95, it's got fantastic armor, 305mm of frontal armor at a decent distance. Oh, also, one thing I just noticed is apparently I'm a floating head today. My t-shirt has a green collar, so man, imagine if I wore an entire green t-shirt. I mean, no, actually, what am I saying? This is just the latest fashion, right? I'm wearing a necklace, a camo necklace, you know, as if it's like a Predator necklace. You know, that sounds wrong. I mean Predator from like the 80s film, okay? Nothing else, okay? Sounds good? Great. Good save, QuickyBabs, good save. Let's see if I can save some of my hit points here. Kind of exposing myself a little bit more than I probably should be right now. I was just hoping I could be able to catch this T-32. WTF Panzer IV nailing me from the little sniper nest. T-32 also nailing me from down below. All right, those are tier 8 heavies that I just have to go at. So I'm gonna tell this to E100 I'm going to help him. Trying to avoid the Mr. Lerva friend. Go around the corner and clunk. Welcome to T95. That's it. That's just what the T95 does. I got to watch out here though, because this guy can overmatch the whole of the top of my tank. He can overmatch the whole of the top of my tank. Do I really want to shoot a Tiger II? That feels so wrong. 750 damage doing 23 damage to a Tiger II. Oh well. What are you going to do? Alright, let's just keep clunking. Let's just keep smashing. That guy got a really good shot off there. Look at the track repair time, by the way. He thinks he's stopping me. It's not. You're not stopping me. The track repair time is nutty. Rewind the video there and take a look at just how crazy that track repair time is. You can't stop the train, baby. I'm like Father Time right now. He won't poke. There's no way he pokes. He's not that stupid, is he? Tiger 2, please tell me you're not that stupid. Dude, don't poke the bear. This is a big old American bear. It's a grizzly bear. But to be fair, if he doesn't poke, then he's just going to wait for me to get him. But I'm going to swing out to the right and see if the BZ will maybe think he's got an opportunity to shoot me in the side. And then I have to swing left for the BZ. Oh, hello. That's delicious looking. Delicious. Let's get back a little bit. Don't want to give him the top of my tank, otherwise he'll overmatch it. Alright, he took a big old hit. So did my E100. Oh, this is pretty ugly. I guess I just need to keep locking down the BZ-75. This game's looking like a win, though. Whoa. I don't think he'll poke me anymore. We've got a Yak Tiger around the corner. Okay, he's reloading. So I think what I have to do is just go after this Tiger 2 just quickly. Maybe I should kill the Yak Tiger. Okay, good. Oh, I'm sorry, 100. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to block the block my friend there. At least I got rid of the Yak Tiger. Hello. This thing just clunks, doesn't it? This thing just clunks, boys and girls. An absolute clunker. This is just where the T95 just wins its battles. I wonder if the 100's got the reload on me. He might do. Never mind. It's my mortal nemesis, the high DPM Tortoise. The complete difference. The mirror version of this vehicle. Well, mirror would be the same, actually. The two couldn't be anything different, really, when I consider it. Still an absolute daddy of the game. Oh, man. These T95 games are going well. They're quite quick games today. I don't like it when World of Tanks is quick. It's always a little bit disappointing for me. So unsatisfying, these quick battles, right? But this is what the T95 does, ladies and gents. This is what the T95 does. Will he reverse anymore? He might do. Will he reverse anymore? Nothing for the baby. Tell you what we should do then. Multitask. Get that juicy thumbnail. Yeah, that looks lovely. Oh yeah, that's a banger. You'd click that, right? I mean, well, you probably did. You probably did. If you're watching this video, you clicked it. So you obviously liked it. You liked the artwork in display there. So that game was pretty much what the T95 does. Go to a heavy tank flank and just make the difference. And undoubtedly, this vehicle helped the E100 perform, right? We helped get loose to be able to bludgeon our way through the BZ-75 on the enemy team. And yeah, we even managed to cripple that BZ-75, knocking out their track, locking them in place. And this is just what this tank does. You only need to do about 3,000 damage, get 3 kills, 6 shots, 6 hits, 6 pens, 666. The T95 is confirmed to be the devil. And that's really all you need to do in this vehicle. Just go to a heavy tank flank and grind. And if you're able to have an influence early on in the battle, because of the mobility build that I'm taking on this tank, then you're going to do well. So let me clarify that this does cost you 20,000 credits a game to be able to run consumables like this. So another build you could use on the T95 would be just use the gun rammer with a durability and a turbo. This would be an okay build as well, but I personally prefer that 10% engine power. But if I was to get myself on a very small map like Runeberg or Himmelsdorf, I could probably drop the fuel and use a gun rammer and be able to have a little bit of more of an impact there. But for me personally, even on Himmelsdorf, even on Runeberg, even on Ensk, well, at least Old Ensk. Can you still get Old Ensk via Ensk Encounter now? Not sure about that. But those maps probably could end up dropping the fuel there because you're not really getting so much of a value from the 10%. But remember that your vehicle's traverse speed is also based on its engine power. That's why vehicles feel so sluggish before you upgrade the engine, because they're not just for going forwards and backwards, they're also for being able to traverse the vehicle. So with the T95, if you can get the extra 10% engine power from the fuel, the excellent fuel, that is, then, man, you improve your traverse speed. And that with, I could also, you know what I could also use here? A snapshot directive. If I don't have, not snapshot, sorry, clutch braking. That's what I'm trying to say. On my driver, take clutch braking, take the clutch braking directive, double that effect, and then I'd be even more mobile. Would be quite, something that I should probably add to this. But then again, am I actually using the bounty protection? You could use a bounty protection directive as well and also further improve the repair speed. Like to say hello to Mr. E50 here, saying 12 straight losses so far. I want to say hi to him because back in the day that was my biggest loss streak as well. I was playing a stock E50 back in 2011 and I lost 13 games in a row and I became very unhappy very quickly, to say the least. Just trying to chase that. I think it was during like a 4 or 5 times experience event as well. And yeah, 13 losses in a stock E50 in a row is enough to make anyone quit playing World of Tanks for that day, for that week, for that month, for that year, for that lifetime. And be able to move on into something else. Okay, come on T10. We have to do this. Okay, I'll kill him. Don't want him to overmatch me. Okay, cool. We got him. But yeah, so I feel a little bit for that poor little E50. And this guy's still trying to get my side. Mate, you can't flank the Zoom Turtle. You can't flank it. Wish that T10 would finish that guy off. Nice, he does. Okay, again, man, why is my matchmaking like this? But then again, when I go in and I basically nonchalantly get rid of a tier 8 and a tier 9, this is just why the T95 is so powerful. Sure, if you get into the tier 10 matchups, you're going to struggle. And my matchmaking has been quite nice today. Only one tier 10 matchup. What server am I playing on? EU1? Oh. Lucky EU1 matchmaking today. Lucky EU1 matchmaking. Lucky, unlucky in a way. Because I would actually kind of like to be doing a little bit more here. Upslope faster than that 114. Where's the Nomad going? He's like, I didn't mean to, T95. I'm so sorry. Please have mercy. I have a wife and kids. No! Well, apparently that 114 doesn't care that you have a family. Repair cost given. No repair costs given, boys and girls. Well, actually, lots of repair costs given on the enemy team. And this has been just... This is just the T95 video, right? Not too tested. Just plowing through. It gets the job done. Is he not going to put the fire out? Good, he is. Glad he put the fire out, because I want some of his juicy, tasty treats as well. Do we get a shot in here? We do. Hooray. Stay up the slope with the fuel. Try and get one into the T44, and then maybe I can get one into the Tortoise as well. Alright, I haven't fired any gold rounds in this video. I might actually use a gold round for the Tortoise. How many fires is this 114 going to get? Is he just going to kite me? Well, fine. Okay, this is a hard shot. Oh, yeah. Let's go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, thumbs up to you as well. Should we commend him as well? Where is he? Am I fast enough? There we go. Commend. Oh, I'm too slow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That was the T95. 4 games in a row. I kept playing it because the games were fast to try and see if we could be able to get a challenge. But honestly, this thing is one of the most relaxed tanks that you can play. I thoroughly recommend this build. This build has just been producing for me so much. I got my 3rd mark on this vehicle with this build and just absolutely pumping it out. 100% wins, 2 kills a game, and 3,500 combined today. Once again, pushing that T95 up and up and up. Honestly, one of the best tanks in the game. I'm surprised that Wargaming don't nerf it. It's a little bit too fast these days, but that's a Wargaming problem. It's a problem with the field mods, the turbo, the crew skills, all of these things adding in together. But look, you can have there are so many more tanks in the game where you can have so much less fun than the T95, and so it does get a big thumbs up from me. Also, I'd like to say, don't sell it. When you unlock the T123, which it's a good tank at tier 10, there's no doubt. It's a really good frontal tank destroyer at tier 10, but don't sell the T95. you might regret it, because just with the tier 9 matchmaking and how awesome and special it feels, man, this might be your boy. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was me playing the best tier 9 tank destroyer in the game. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments down below, what is your best tier 9 tank destroyer in the game and why? Oh, and also, I'd like to give an honorable mention to the TL7, another American vehicle. This one's premium. This thing absolutely pumps for me with regards to wins and also with regards to making credits, bonds, and damage. But let me clarify, you need to set it up sweaty. Go check out my other videos on the TL7 to find out more about that. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.